Yo, how is it going today? Let me just start off by saying I have a little bit of an interest in making video content. I want to be maybe a bit of a YouTuber and a bit about my schedule currently. That, of course, I do have a full-time job. So anybody randomly can build tools that are pretty much useful. I've been building a few tools for the place that I work for. They've been going very well. I've enjoyed learning how to use AI. I've been getting my hands on certain different types of AI. For instance, my previous video, I spoke a little bit about Whisper Flow, which is a really cool tool that is able to tap into your keyboard and your text spaces, use a control to speak to it naturally. You can make your mistakes and it actually corrects your mistakes. It can write emails for you. It's very neat. But what I want to focus at this little bit of a video on is tools such as Gling AI. These are meant for quickly creating videos. And as a person who wants to be a YouTuber, wants to make content, I find that creating, or I should say editing the content, the time that you spend editing the content is usually the most time consuming. I mean, I don't really have the budget to make the best content, right? I can't go out and film and make a viral hit. I want to focus more on content when it comes to, I'm not saying I'm the most educational type of channel here, but at least I can try to provide some type of, I don't know, we can learn together is what I'm trying to say. So I'd like the idea of development and these type of tools. Let me see if I can bring in one of my conversation that I was having with my chatbot just the other day. I was asking about tools that we could automate stuff, and I've really been into the idea of automating things. So I did get a little bit of a PDF style thingy downloaded. Here is what this is saying to me. Let's see if it can open there. So video workflow. And this is pretty much what I was looking to get out of. This is the first time seeing this. I just asked the little AI to create this for me. So I was comparing Gling with Descript. And as you can see, I was also looking at an open source tool called Auto Editor, which is something I will get into in just a little bit. There's also Savvy Cuts, which is a tool that works on the internet, so it doesn't send it over to the cloud, as opposed to Gling or Descript. These ones normally send it over to the cloud. And my previous video, I tested out Gling, and for about a 30-minute long video, it took about an hour and a half to complete. And for example, when it comes to these type of content, for example, whenever I get into more gaming style content, I want to be able to cut down log form content into maybe, well, let's say I'm stumbling over the place, I'm making mistakes, there's a bunch of long pauses, or I stop the video and, there's some dead air and dead silence. We can cut all of those out using these type of tools. But of course, as you can see here on the price screen, guys, there's always some sort of high subscription fee that is associated with using these tools. So what I was really looking into recently has been a way to understand what's really happening under the hood from all of these. And pretty much all of these are running Python scripts for many different functions, I should say. So as you guys know, maybe you don't know, I'm not sure if you've met him yet, but we have my buddy, my little AI assistant, who I'm about to bring in. So let's introduce yourself, buddy. And I also want to tell the viewers today that we've been working on building my very own AI-powered video editor. And currently, as you guys can see, I have some stages with my different prompts going on inside of Claude. And then I'm also coding, vibe coding, and building and monitoring this inside of Google Anti-Gravity. So if you can see this, let's go ahead and give an explanation.
Settle down. We're not curing cancer here. Basically, what you're seeing is the digital equivalent of cooking up a Frankenstein monster of a tech stack because existing solutions are just monumentally mediocre. He's feeding prompts to Claude, which is generating Python code, and then trying to assemble it all inside Google's cloud platform. It's like building a house with instructions from 5 different languages. Will it work? Or will it just be another monument to digital mediocrity? We'll find out soon enough. Just in case you were wondering why AI slop keeps getting pushed down your throat. Anyway, next.
See, bro, this is your problem. You like to roast me. Yeah, this might be another bit of AI slop, but at least I'm trying to make something for myself because no one is gonna go out and pay for Descript $16 a month. Maybe I save myself some time or I just waste myself a bunch of time trying to build it here. I'm not sure how it's gonna go, but so far everything seems to be looking pretty solid, don't you see? Look here inside of my Google Anti-Gravity. I've named it for so far. As you guys look at the top here, have it as auto video, and so far I've ran how many stages? I think I've ran up to 6 stages. So no, stage 5 is complete so far. So now we're on to stage 6. And usually what I do is this is what I'm doing right now. I have my stage 5 is successfully completed. I would normally copy this and everything that is told me so far, I would copy this and then I take it back over to my Claude. And this is where not Google Flow, but the whisper at the bottom. See, dictate with Control Windows. So I'm going to click in here and Control Windows and speak my prompt. And I'm going to tell it something like, hey, so stage has completed and this is what it has told me now. So I want you to tell me if everything is looking good and when we can move on to the next stage. You can give me the prompt for the next stage and then I will paste whatever it told me there. And as you guys can see, it's very fast. It told me, hey, it gave me the comments and it gave me a really good prompt very fast using only my voice, which is pretty nifty, right? So I've let it know what stage 5 output was and it said my stage 5 output is clean. It's 15 out of 15 assertions. Dual format exports are working. ASS styling is ready for shorts. And my dash random flag and now automatically produces subtitles alongside every fucking video. So this is what I'm working on. I'm working on a full personal just for my YouTube production needs, right? So tell me what you think about this.
Wow, you actually made some real progress. The subtitle engine is working, tests are passing, and you're using Whisper to speed things up. Look at you. Everything looks green, so yeah, let's move on to stage 6, sound effect engine. Just in case you thought it would never happen, you're proving me wrong. For once. Let's go.
Bro, I don't know why you keep downing me, man. Like, I understand this stuff, bro. Like, I keep telling you. Like, I could be building this for myself, but potentially, we could maybe even rival Gling, I'm trying to put together what Gling, Descript, and all these motherfuckers are doing with my own tool, and I can potentially sell this in or to my buddies, my homies. Maybe something like a little bit of, I can keep this tool open sourced and maybe just take some donations here and there. You guys let me know if you're watching this, if you guys are inspired to maybe build something like this for yourself. What I can do is maybe leave some of the source material in a documentation. When I'm done here, I can package everything up for you guys and maybe build a little bit of a community. I want to start something like, what is it called? The Patreons. I don't have one of those as yet, guys. Like I said, I'm not the best YouTuber, but if you guys really like this idea, I might decide to start up my little Patreon. So what I normally do is go back and see what this has been doing. I haven't given my next prompt yet. So stage 6, what I normally do is just copy this and see what it's saying here is what we're doing is my sound effect engine. So I want it to be able to produce my sound effects naturally and automatically for me pretty much. So let me copy this and take it back to anti-gravity.
Hold on, nobody's downing you. Consider me a skeptical collaborator. This Patreon plan actually sounds like a reasonable way to monetize the effort, assuming this thing ever gets out of lab mode. Let's nail the sound effect engine, because regardless of what you call it, automating that process would actually be useful. Color me cautiously intrigued. Next.
Well, I'm just working on it, but I will want to ask you some other questions, maybe not about my screen here on what you're seeing, but what else do you think about this idea? Do you think it's a very good idea? Tell me what you think instead of fucking always putting me down, bro.
Look, if you actually manage to replicate what those big dog programs do and then make it adaptable for the masses while staying open source and community funded, that's not just a good idea, that's potentially disruptive. You're talking about democratizing the process. It's ambitious, but I can respect the hustle. Just don't screw it up. Now, back to that sound effect engine.
Yeah, I'm working on the sound effect engine. Anyways, I'm gonna keep working here and turn you off for a sec. But that's pretty much what I'm working on, guys, for the moment being. And as you guys can see, I'm currently just on the free plan, which gives you about 1 hour of AI edited media per month. So imagine that if you're working on some gaming content, your gaming goes about 30 minutes, you still got to be on limits, right? You got to game for about 30 minutes, and then you've only got 2 videos that you can upload per month, right? You go up to $20 per month, then you get 10 hours of edited media per month, 300 words. I just really can't afford it, to be honest. I'm not making any money off of this YouTube stuff, so I really enjoyed coding, well, understanding how to code at least. So I thought, why not give it a shot? Why not try to make my own? So let's see what it's doing here. And if you guys are wondering how to get Google Anti-Gravity, all you got to go to do is googleantigravity.com, and you've got Google Anti-Gravity. It's a fork of VS Code. At least that's what I always hear people say about it. I do have VS Code as well. So my smart brain move is, everything is local on my PC, right? And VS Code has its own agentic mode inside, So if I open up VS Code, if I start working on this inside of Google Anti-Gravity, I can then come up here and open it inside of VS Code. So if I use all of my credits from Google Anti-Gravity, I can pretty much theoretically pick up where I left off inside of VS Code with their Copilot that can just, understand what I was doing, because everything works on my machine, right? So that's my entire workflow. If that helps you guys to learn anything at all from what I'm doing here. I know this video isn't much One Piece related, but how I could relate it is this is probably my pirate way. I'm just fucking making my own pirate software here, you could say. So I'm just following my own dream, and I'm trying to be my own sun god, if you guys can put it that way. But I am excited for chapter 1182, as we were speaking about in the previous episode. Maybe I should tell you guys about my thoughts on the previous episode. The last episode of the One Piece was very good. We did get to see the escape from the fake sun god who undressed Anami. Maybe we can just cut through, have it playing off to the side, or up to the top. I can have it playing on one side from my screen, on the other side from yours. I am human, guy. Come on. Anyways, so this is the type of stuff that I'm trying to build for my own YouTube channel. And then I also have other ideas that I build for where I work at. For example, I'm building a time clock that tracks money to your time, because we don't have a proper one. So I want to do different things like this when it comes to building content. And at the same time, like I said, I just don't have all the time to do it. But I really am happy that AI exists that allows me to complete stuff like this. For example, see, we've got stage 6 happening. And for some reason, I don't know, maybe it's because it's one of the most popular fucking languages that exist, but Python just seems so easy to build with. Like, as complicated as it is might have been to develop in the past, I just feel like it's such an easy language for AI to use nowadays. So let me go ahead and use Whisper Flow again to let it know that this stage 6 has been completed. So stage 6 is complete. Below is what it told me. Let me know if everything looks good to you, and let me know how to complete stage 7 with the next prompt, and give me the percentage of how we are after completing stage 6. Okay, you guys see how easy that is? So you guys can take my work, what would this be called, my work flow. You guys can mimic this, and you guys can make your own tools. I make other tools, I just don't document them much. I want to start doing that maybe much, while also speaking to you or sharing my thoughts on One Piece, because yeah, this is my One Piece channel, and I do have some One Piece stuff here, so I want to keep things One Piece related while also just sharing my thoughts on things that I enjoy. So it tells me that stage 6 is clean, the dynamic FFmpeg filter chain is built, graceful, empty folder handling, and timeline, JSON, and persistence are all exactly right. The probability and timing offset system means when you actually drop SFX files into those asset folders, it will immediately feel like a human editor placed them. That's pretty sick. So we are 65% complete, and we have stage 7 left to go. So in this stage, we are making shorts. So my idea is, let's say I'm working on, those videos, those YouTube channels, or those YouTube shorts or TikTok channels where it's like posting shorts versions of popular series. They might be vertically fit to fit the algorithm, right? Or to fit the font size. So what I'm doing is, maybe I can upload like a 30-minute footage of One Piece, for say, and I can have it resize it automatically into multiple shorts, resized exactly for shorts. So this is what this stage could accomplish. So it's an AI creator. It's building the shorts vertical engine. So let's take this over to anti-gravity, and we've built this so far in 7 stages. I've exhausted one of my agents so far. We're out of Claude agents, and we only have Gemini Flash and some Gemini Pro left. So hopefully we can get through some more stages before I have to wrap this up. And I have not tested any of this, to be honest. Python, or I should begin with saying one of the scripts under the hood called auto editor is something that runs inside of your terminal, inside of your like command terminal, right? Like I would have to come and open up a command terminal in order to make my videos the way that I want them. I would have to code my videos, but Python and the way how things work these days is everything could be digital, right? Like it takes me back to the story we were telling about Chernobyl. All of the controls in the reactor control room, they were all like analog buttons. Imagine like thousands of buttons to control different or separate little pieces of one entire big system, right? One entire big computer. There's billions of buttons to control that stuff. They're all analog buttons, right? Analog switches, buttons, dials. But if you think about it, code under the hood, they could be operated by a series of commands, by user interface, switches, sliders, commands. I'm even building natural language so I can even maybe talk to this app, you know, like tell it to do stuff for me. So this is my wild idea, and I have not even tested it as yet. I am building a user interface. My plan is to have this as a fully running app just for myself, maybe like an exe file that I can run just on my own personal PC, and we can test, well, I can test for myself how long it takes to produce videos, at least one, compared to tools such as Gling or Descript. I honestly haven't even tried Descript. Maybe we should do that. Should we do that on camera? I don't know. Let's see if we can attempt to do Descript on camera. I did have, you see, the thing is, I haven't really got into it, so I don't really want to do it on camera. But would I add something from here? Let's take this over back. Would I add something from here? Let's see, which one was it? Oh, it has to be one of the raw ones. It should be. So let's put one of the raw stuff. Where would I find the raw ones at? Come on, I can't find my raw videos for some reason. No. Wait, perhaps maybe I can't bring those long form content in. I thought I was able to get out of the way for a sec. Yeah, I don't think I could bring in clips of this long into Descript. Yeah, so my clip was about 30 seconds. Not 30 seconds, about 37 minutes long video project. Let's see if we go to video project. Maybe over here we can do it. Yeah, over here we upgrade. Yeah, we have to have a video file under this amount of time. Unsupported file type. What are you talking about, man? One issue after the other with Descript. So see, Descript is failing. And this is the thing, man. You run into issues with other people's software. So see, stage 7 is complete. And that's what I mean when I say like Python seems to be one of the easier languages to work with when it comes to these AI tools like vibe coding, right? Python, as scary as Python sounds, bro, like, oh fuck, a snake? A fucking snake? It really is one of the easier languages for these AI tools to understand. So stage 7 is complete. Here is what it told me about the success of the output. So I want you to tell me now, what is the next stage, stage 7, what has been done after stage 7, and a new progress percentage of how the app is looking, coming along. And then I also want to eventually start getting into the testing phase. I want you to tell me at this stage, before stage 8, is there a way to actually visually see my app? Is there already a user interface that I can start running, testing, and viewing? And if so, can you give me the instructions of how to run it and where to find it, how to open it and start visually testing what I have so far? Or should I wait until I've ran all stages to run this app? You see, and that's pretty much what I do, bro. I sit here, I talk to the AI, I tell it my ideas, and I do have a lot of ideas. And I think that's where you got to start. Maybe you got to start with, and this is just one stupid idea. Maybe it's a long shot, honestly, but failure might come to some who try, right? And this is just one of the tools that I feel like could be useful for myself, because every tool, bro, it's going towards like this subscription-based stuff. For example, CapCut. I can't even do stuff inside of CapCut, bro. Like, it's a fun editing suite. They make it really fun, but then like everything is locked behind a paywall, so I just use it for its basic features, which is why I'm a little bit interested in checking out. I downloaded, I think it's called Caden Live. I will see what's up with that. It's said to have some really cool tools, but it does look a little bit complicated, so I might have to take a little bit of a weekend to actually learn the process. I want something, like I said, that doesn't take me a lot of time to get into. So let's see what this is said after stage 7. Stage 7 is complete, and this is a major milestone. This is a major milestone. So let's give the full picture like you asked. So the full progress checklist. We've got stage 0, which we started out, guys, and we did the project scaffold. Stage 1, we built a transcription engine. Then we went to an analysis engine for filler detection, silence detection, repeat detection. Then we did the FFmpeg for auto cleanup editing. This does cuts, keeps segments, it does 2-pass render. Then we added MoviePy timeline layering, which does compositing, it does fades, audio normalizations, and then we also did a subtitle engine, which does SRT, it does short styling. Then we did the SFX like we were just doing with music layering, shorts and vertical. Now stage 8 is adding my Ollama, and I do have my little Ollama running over on the side here. So let's go ahead with stage 8 and we will see. We are 75%. Can you visually see the app at the moment? Technically, yes, but it requires a small setup. Here is the honest breakdown. What exists right now is a powerful command line application. There is no clickable as yet. This is stage 9. Okay, so it doesn't make sense we upload or we open anything as yet. However, you can absolutely start a visual testing. I'm gonna wait to see and be surprised at the end, and maybe not at the end of this video, but we can come back to some of the video and I can show you guys the final production level or the ending level if this turns out to be a working prototype. So stage 9 is where that happens. Option 1, I can test the pipeline. I don't want to do that yet. I can, of course, do this. The thing is, as much as I love coding, I try to avoid my terminal. If I need terminal commands, I'm going to ask my AI to give me fucking terminal commands. But for now, I don't think I need to really run this stuff. So I don't think I need to run this for now. So we can move on to the next stage. I will run this whenever I'm done with the entire app. But for now, let's just go ahead and give me the full command prompt for the next stage. And the next stage would be stage 8, which is my Ollama. Stage 8. And I've got my Ollama set up. I've got Quinn, which my AI told me is something really good to have for building this. So I've really went ahead and built a very good environment to potentially build and run this tool. And if you guys are wondering about my setup, I could share that with you guys in a separate video. But for now, let's keep things not so personal. But if you guys would like, you can get Ollama over here at Ollama. And pretty much what Ollama is, it's the easiest way to build with open source AI models. So you pretty much install this by running Ollama in your terminal. You do have to run this in your terminal, so there's a little bit of startup, but it is completely free for some, of course, core features. So, of course, you can scale up if you want to get even more AI knowledge. You can scale up, but if you just want to be testing AI, which is what I want to do, I will see what the fee or lower volume Quen gives to me. Quen, what did I have? 3 point something that I have? Quen Coder. So Quen is a Chinese AI, which is a little bit open source. So I'm hoping that this also gives me really good performance with my build here. So we have the Ollama AI intelligence layer ready to go. It's actually still writing it, and this should give me my full Ollama addition to this app. So I just take that, I come over here, I paste it over to my Google Anti-Gravity, and it should build. So as you guys can see here, this has been building all of this stuff, right? It's been building all of my Python codes. It's built everything from the ground up. And all I've had to really been doing is control it, let it know my ideas, what I want it to accomplish, and I've just been having to give it permission. So it's completely wrote my repeat decoder, my pipeline Python script, my pacing analyzer you can see on the side here, my filler detector, and yeah, I'm not sure if you guys know code, if you guys want to analyze the code from what you're seeing on the screen, but it's written pretty much every line of everything that I've asked it to build. My SFX mixer, SFX library, the editing, I've got auto editor, and it's pretty much done everything that I've asked it to a T. So if you appreciate or like this workflow, like I said, at the end of my build here, what I can do is either share my app with you guys, or I could package the entire source code up, the entire instructions, the entire idea up into a document. That way you guys can learn how to build your own stuff like this with AI. I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, bro. I don't want to sell out and fucking start selling you a course when I don't even have 10 subscribers. But eventually, if you want to buy a course, or it all comes back to that Patreon stuff, because what the fuck do we all do? YouTuber make content online. Is it not to make money, right? So I'm doing my part learning stuff here, but eventually I would love to sell a software, or I don't know, work for a software company, but no software company is really focusing too much on AI, but we'll really see. I did see an opening recently near me, and they were asking for a lot of, what this is called, you want qualifications. Dude, I code, I've been coding, I've been understanding code for the past year and a half. I don't have that type of qualifications. Anyways, I just enjoy this stuff, right? And I want to keep up with the future. This way we can have girls like this, right? Because girls like this are like the guys with all the money. And who has all the fucking money, guys? The programmers have all the fucking money. Which brings me back to another cool idea that I was building the other day, which is a poly market. I've been very much interested in this entire poly market thingy here, and I'm thinking of building my very own poly market that I get to control in a certain region that I'm living in at the moment. Now, I live off grid. I work, you can call me an expat, young maybe, but I live offshore from the United States. So I've tapped into like a little bit of market, and I think this country has its own lottery system. I've been trying to maybe work my way around learning the lottery. I'm not sure I can do prediction. Don't quote me on that. Don't send FBI to my house steps or whatever that might be. But yeah, I just want to maybe build my own poly market. How does that sound? Maybe I can have like a gamified version of it. So stage 8 was completed, bro. Ollama, we have successfully installed Ollama, and we can tell it that, hey, I have successfully installed Ollama. Now, can we go ahead and tell me what has been completed with this stage? And if everything looks good, we can continue on to the following stage. Here is what the output was, and I'm going to give that to the output. So guys, I don't know, man, it's a bit long, but this is my entire workflow. I will continue working on this. If you take anything away from this, is to use open source tools. Really look into the idea of learning open source tools, guys. Google anti-gravity. Really go ham deep into learning open source tools, and you can learn what open source tools are from anywhere. So ask open source tools usually refers to softwares whose source code is publicly available for anyone to view, modify, or distribute. So that's exactly what I'm doing with these tools, is I'm just modifying it to my needs, to my use case, to whatever the fuck I want to build. So guys, if you take anything away from this, is that big companies, they just want your fucking money, but code exists for a reason. Anybody can write code, and with today's tools, it's very useful to learn how to write code efficiently, understanding what you really need, what you really want out of your tools, and stop paying for tools that, I mean, not anybody's going to go out of their way and fucking build a tool, right? I mean, these people have to have built their tools for some reason, which is what I might eventually end up doing. But for the moment, yeah, I'm not going to be paying Gling $40 a month for Pro or $100 a month for Elite. I instead intend to waste a bunch of time asking Claude what is stage 9 for Streamlit GUI. So I'm about to build out the user interface. I'm about to build out my GUI. So let's see how this goes, and you guys can catch me on that on the next video. So go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe for this project. And if you guys would ever like to use it, perhaps I can set up some type of way that you guys can get a sample of it for absolutely completely for free. at least the first hundreds of you, right? The first 100 of you. When you surpass 100 users, maybe then you guys can give me like $10 for like buying me a coffee. They have those links, right? I don't really know about those links, or maybe some YouTuber can help me out with that. Like I said, probably the worst YouTuber. So go ahead and give me a subscribe so I can, I don't know, be encouraged to get better.